Hello, I'm Chris Grow, and this is the backstory of film production in San Diego County. And today I have with me Guy Langman, the filming program manager for the city of San Diego, and Aaron Roberts, chairman and CEO of the Chula Vista Entertainment Company. Now, San Diego, of course, has been Hollywood's one of Hollywood's backlot for decades. Of course, we know one battle after another. Just most recently, one of the great examples of that. But we've got classics like Top Gun, Citizen Kane, Way of the Warrior Kid. But there's a growing push to continue to make San Diego a production staple. So we want to bring in our industry experts here, our local experts, and also Guy, as someone who has been key and obviously one battle after another and other productions coming here to our region. We want to ask, what is sort of the reason why San Diego has been a destination for Hollywood to specifically come here?
Sure. Well, I always like to hit on our fabulous locations. You know, our beaches, our parks, the desert. We basically have everything that LA has, but we have way less red tape.
Okay.
You walk into LA and it's all one regional film office there, and it starts with $1,000 application fee. Down here, none of the jurisdictions have that level of cost to apply for a permit. So generally things are just a lot easier logistically wise to come down here. Sure, you've got to travel down from LA, but to get your permits and what you're allowed to do, it's immensely easier red tape wise. And for one battle after another, San Diego was part of the story. The border was part of that story, that big opening scene. They actually tried to shoot that scene in Northern California, but it didn't quite work for them. So we were actually added on at the end to kind of reshoot that whole scene over 2 weeks for that opening 20-minute action shot. And once they got down here, the director, Paul Thomas Anderson, would go on drives on the weekend and see other things he liked and was able to incorporate other parts of San Diego into it. So we like to use our great locations as kind of like the clickbait to get them down here, and then really spend time with them and work with them to show them everything else we have.
Now, those are obviously the sort of the big examples, but there's a lot that's going on that we may not have heard of just yet, but we could be hearing about soon, or again, a lot of filming that goes on that is enjoyed amongst those who are fans of independent films. So would you say is the most common sort of filming that we are seeing take place in San Diego?
We are a backlot for commercials.
Okay. Yeah.
The most filming we do is commercials, still photo catalogs, things like that. We're doing major commercials every week. Next week, we have a commercial for water sports equipment that will be in Mission Bay for 3 days, which is going to have a large crew out there. We get regional catalogs from Land's End, LL Bean, Schwinn Bicycle. They just love the outdoorness of San Diego and those great locations. So that is kind of our bread and butter. It's probably 75% commercials. We are starting to see some of the smaller features. We actually have what I'd call a micro-budgeted sci-fi feature that has been at Downtown Central Library for 5 days, taking over the library, filming around there with a crew of about 50. So we're starting to see more of that kind of click in here as the costs in LA continue to rise and a lot of uncertainty at the studio levels happening in LA.
For Aaron, I want to bring you in here. Chula Vista, many people, they kind of always hear about it as the second largest city in our county, and that's true, but it's also, I believe, still the fastest growing in terms of population. We know that there are a ton of things that are happening in Chula Vista. So why specifically for you, for your company, why Chula Vista? Do you think that it's a location for filming here, both presently and in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it was we started working with Chula Vista for a variety of different reasons. One, as you mentioned, they are one of the fastest growing spots in the county. They also have the most available undeveloped land of anywhere else in the county. I believe when we started working with them in 2023, the mayor had mentioned that about 30% of all developable land left in the county, that's untouched developable land, was in the city of Chula Vista. So that was one of the reasons, along with the fact that the city had been courting major industry really for the last decade plus, right? They had actually put out an original RFP for Netflix's first studio that went to Albuquerque. A few years later, they were a finalist for Amazon's headquarters that ended up going to New Jersey. So when I was looking for where in the county to propose the studio infrastructure and everything else that we're building, Chula Vista just, I think it aligned for a lot of different reasons. And one was the city's, big thinking towards industry. Some of it was the practical land spacing available. But it's also just really, it's where we're building in the Millennia area and kind of the university whole district that the city has proposed. It's all brand new infrastructure. It's brand new housing. It's brand new shopping centers in a lot of this area. So we're just excited to be in one of the, like you mentioned, fastest growing parts of the county. And we have amazing support from the city, which, as we all know, the more municipal support that you have for stuff that we're doing really does make things a lot easier as we're trying to build and kind of restart the film and television part of the industry back down here. So,
and real quick before we go to break, you mentioned the undeveloped land. Why is that in particular so important?
Yeah, for us, building from the ground up, building these studios from the ground up really was important because it separates us from a lot of the building in Hollywood. A lot of those sound stages, the ones that you hear are up for sale or changing hands or being torn down or sold, are stages that were built 40, 50, 60, 70, maybe even more years ago, back when Hollywood started. And the infrastructure on those stages isn't necessarily fit without a lot of expensive modifications to do the newest of production technology. So we're building virtual production capable studios from day one, which requires your roof load capacity to be able to hold, more weight than a lot of those older buildings can. It requires a lot more power draw than a lot of those old buildings had built when they were constructed, again, 40, 50, 60 years ago. So the fact that we're building fresh, a green build, means not only can we design it exactly how it's going to be best for production, right? Taking the years and years of experience that everyone on our board of directors has, our advisory board has, all of our technical partners have, and really building something that I say there's never a perfect studio, right?
Yeah.
But really being able to given the chance to build something that's hopefully going to be really stellar from day one is so much easier when you're building from a green build than retrofitting something.
And obviously, we're talking about, in particular, two direct cities. The local economy is oftentimes a big question when we're talking about productions taking place with that. So up next, we are going to take a quick 2-minute break here. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about the local impact to those economies and what exactly we are seeing when it comes to productions, both big, small, commercial, as well as even Hollywood filming in your backyard. All right, welcome back. This is The Backstory, and we have, of course, with us today Guy Langman with the City of San Diego, the filming program manager, and Aaron Roberts, chairman and CEO of the Chula Vista Entertainment Company. So, Guy, we were talking just a little bit here off screen about sort of the challenges that Hollywood is facing. We'll probably touch on that in a little bit, but I think that on the flip side of that coin, it's been an opportunity for other cities like the city of San Diego, like potentially the city of Chula Vista, to sort of jump in here and sort of reap the benefits if it's something that they can see, of course, a demand for something and try to fill that. So when we're talking about the impact to a local economy, I think a lot of people want to know, are jobs being created here when productions like this happen? Are we seeing it, or are they being brought in, so to speak?
So right now it's a bit of a combination. San Diego has a great entertainment workforce. Just start there. We used to have sound stages here back in the day in TV shows that were out of San Diego. So there's a lot of people that were kind of left over from that when that stage shut down. And you kind of see them anytime we get big projects here, they all kind of work on them. You have to look at a big shoot, whether it's TV streaming or a movie or even a commercial, as a small circus on the road. They're going to bring their trucks. They're going to bring a lot of gear. They're going to bring people. But they're going to do local hires as well. We had a Snickers commercial a few months ago in La Jolla. They ended up hiring about half their staff, be it a medic, be it PAs, be electricians and things like that. Local catering, staying in hotels. If they've for the catering, they got to go to a local grocery store. They have to buy gas. So it's, the circus comes to town with a lot of their gear, but they need support. When One Battle came down here, they hired something like 400 extras for that opening scene over 2 weeks. Yeah. And they still brought down a whole crew of over 200. And so they were base camping out there in Otay Mesa, semi-trucks full of gear and fuel and food. And it was funny, when we did that filming, it was during Comic-Con. There were no hotels
Yeah, wow.
in San Diego proper. So they basically took over every motel and hotel down in South Bay to house that entire crew for 2 weeks. So it's a huge influx of money into that area.
Because it's very clearly, it's not just jobs. I know we like to focus on that, but it's also existing businesses, existing employees and so forth that are benefiting, you're saying.
Absolutely. We have, there's vendors that put out the no parking signs. There's security companies. So all of these were local hires, and that all is a extreme economic impact when they come down and do it. So anytime we see, like, say, a commercial that's 1 or 2 days, it's a smaller version of that, but there's always local hires and local spending going on. This commercial I've got going on next week, it's the same deal. 50 person crew, probably going to hire 15 or 20 local, staying in local hotels, eating in local restaurants, renting local gear, hiring local lifeguards because it's going to be out on the water.
Yeah.
So we always look at these things.
Yeah, even down to, again, safety, as you pointed out, with security and lifeguards there. Aaron, how does having a production hub like yours sort of change the conversation of when productions are choosing separate locations, or maybe a location that we're not sort of commonly used to hearing pop up in productions?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're building is a couple things. First, like Guy mentioned, we used to have sound stages down here in San Diego, Stu Siegel out in Kearney Mesa. We really haven't had anything operational like that since, I believe, 2007, 2008 was roughly about when he kind of closed up shop there. And so first, we're just building that infrastructure again, right? We're building sound stages. So not only do productions get to take part of all the beautiful practical locations that we have in the county, and that's another thing, just echoing what Guy said, that we have every look pretty much that you can get, right? City, suburbs, beach, desert, mountain, rural, if you're talking kind of Ramona or Julian, right? Like, we have almost any look that you might desire practically. But now, by also having that soundstage infrastructure, by utilizing virtual production, we can also kind of take you anywhere in the world, right? By utilizing these beautiful, LED volume stages. And that will also come with more investment into the actual equipment infrastructure and some of these other areas that Guy is saying that currently people have to bring gear or people down from LA. Not only are we building the stages and the infrastructure, but we're also really working on the workforce development, the crew infrastructure, right? Because we understand that even if we had our 4 stages operational tomorrow and they were all booked, we don't have enough crew to fully staff those stages that live here. We have a lot of great crew in San Diego, but we still need to build up that workforce more. So a lot of what we're also doing over the next, year and a half, 2 years is building that workforce. So instead of it being a 50-50 thing when a production comes down from LA or comes in from somewhere else, they can hopefully get closer to hiring 80%, 90%, maybe even almost 100%, besides a couple above the line folks of local crews here, right? And being able to also take advantage of that for the state rebate or the state tax credit program, right? Those companies get more back, the more local expenditures and more local hires they have. So that is one of our other key missions here, besides building the infrastructure, is continuing to build on that great workforce that we have.
Real quick, and maybe this can just be as simple as sort of, yes or no, and you can expand on this just a little bit, but we do have some just a little bit of time here before we go to break. The talk about sort of like the end to Hollywood, is it really the end to the movie industry, or which I think we can all agree that it's not, but it sounds like it's more that it's not being siloed to one place, and we're seeing opportunity for places that have existed all along. San Diego's been here since forever. There's a history here, but obviously Atlanta, London is obviously doing a lot of this internationally as well too. Is it really just more of like we're just seeing the wealth get spread out now?
My personal opinion is you're seeing a sea change in the industry as serious as when it went from silent to sound.
Yeah. Okay.
Because what you're seeing is somewhere like Atlanta, which was hosting all the Marvel movies up till COVID, and they still offer a tax credit. Disney packed up and went to UK.
Yeah.
They're always chasing $1 or a better deal. At the same time, you're seeing movies now, Obsession, which came out and made over almost $500 million. It was a YouTuber. So now the studios are looking at that. They're like, okay, who are these new people and these new ways of making things? And Hollywood is always chasing the newest, biggest thing. So you have all this upheaval with sound stages and AI and tax credits, and it's really and studios threatening to leave because they're not getting a tax break, as in the news about Paramount these days. So I think we're in a real sea change that is going to continue to churn for another 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, and so it sounds essentially like there's an opportunity here to strike gold, and they will look wherever it is that they can pan for it, basically, right? All right, well, let's go ahead and put a pin on this portion of the conversation. What we'll do is we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about more on the future of production, what it is, what it looks like here in our region, and we'll do all of that here after a quick break. All right, welcome back. This is The Backstory. I, of course, have with me Guy and Aaron. We've been discussing film production here in San Diego County, Chula Vista, the city of San Diego. I think for a lot of people who are not directly connected, maybe they're just consumers of film, obviously of commercials as well, too. They hear about tax incentives when it comes to Hollywood. We know famously Georgia and Atlanta really reaped the benefit of that. But I think for a lot of people, they don't really know necessarily how that particularly works. Aaron, you were just saying here during the break that you guys really tried to lead the charge about some of that. What were you guys fighting for, and what does that really look like here when we're talking about tax breaks for a lot of these companies looking to make films here?
Yeah, I mean, California itself as a state was definitely, we fell behind. I mean, just to put it bluntly, as far as a statewide incentive goes, right? As you mentioned, you had other states like New Mexico, you had Georgia, you had New Jersey, who got really aggressive over the last decade with the incentives they were offering, where you could get back anywhere from 25 to 35%. There were additional uplifts that I think in certain states could get you even above 35%, right? So in 2025, we co-founded what was called the Out of Zone lobbying group, which was basically represented over 50 businesses and arts organizations that were outside of the Los Angeles region. So we have partners all through up and down the state. And we were fighting for not only the expanded cap on the state incentive. So we went from about a $330 million total bucket to, I believe, a little over $750 million. So more than doubled the pot, which was a great first step. What we also did was we fought for additional equitable out of zone. So for those who don't know, there's kind of like it's like the 30-mile zone, which kind of covers your traditional LA Hollywood kind of area, and then everything else outside of that. There were additional uplifts that we fought for. So currently, if you came and filmed in San Diego, anywhere in San Diego County, you not only get your 35% base tax credit, but you get an additional 40% back on eligible expenses and 45% back on eligible labor. So it was a big first step towards a lot of the lobbying. We're still working at the state level. There's a bill to add post-production incentives that's currently going through, the state Senate and state houses right now. So incentives are just going to be incredibly important for the long-term health of filming in the entire state, honestly. So we're happy with where we're at, but we're going to keep fighting for more.
And in terms of a sort of a larger picture, we have about a minute here. Guy, I'll bring you in for this. What does the future of in San Diego, and we can expand it outside to San Diego County as well too, what does the future of the film industry look like here? And maybe let's say the next 10 years.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
As we were talking offline there, the industry is going through major changes, but we've been positioning for that. San Diego and the San Diego region has really positioned itself for short films, content creators. We were talking about commercials earlier, a lot of docu sort of things. When I get done here, I'm actually going down to the port with a major streamer who's looking for a tax credit. If they get it, we may have a major series down here. Wow. So we're looking at all that. In San Diego, I think it looks strong with Aaron's venture down in Chula Vista. That's a huge thing. Having soundstage space, especially a volume type stage where you can do the virtual backgrounds, is a big deal. That is kind of what the industry is shifting towards. And then AI is kicking into this as well. So I think we're positioned very well because we're not... It's kind of like the end of the dinosaurs in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Each studio's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex on its last legs, unfortunately. Yeah. I mean, they'll stick around and everything, but downsizing, they don't need these giant plots of real estate and these sound stages anymore. Yeah. I think we're quick and nimble, and we're ready to pivot and be on top of all that.
It's definitely something that is exciting, and it is something that you want to see happen here in your own backyard. So, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to ask you guys for some advice. We're going to ask for some advice for those who are looking to get into the industry. We'll do all of that here after a quick 2 minutes. All right, welcome back. This, of course, is The Backstory. We've been talking about film production here in San Diego County. I've had with me Guy Langman, the filming program manager for the city of San Diego, and Aaron Roberts, chairman and CEO of the Chula Vista Entertainment Company. Guy and Aaron, we have about a minute left here. What would be your piece of advice for young filmmakers looking to get started, specifically here or maybe really anywhere?
I'm just do it.
Yeah.
Like Nike style. Two of the most profitable movies this year are coming from YouTuber, TikTokers, content creators. The field is wide open. It is not your father's Hollywood.
Yeah. Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, echoing that, that's definitely one of the biggest pieces. And second, if you're just going to do it, just bring a great attitude, right? Like, I mean, this is definitely an industry where relationships are key, and they, will carry you through. So bring a good attitude on set, bring a good attitude in everything you do, and just do it.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a great conversation. This has been The Backstory. I'm Chris Skro. Thank you so much for watching.